Good morning, and you're listening to Glenforest Radio 102.1. You're listening to the November 11th, 2016 Remembrance Day special, so stay tuned. But first, a message from our sponsors. So, today, to talk about World War II, we have 4 special guests. 3 of them professionals, 1 of them a teacher.
Ha 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 ha. Bad joke, Michael.
I know. So, our main topic today is war in the air. Airplanes, Air Force, and anything at all airborne. Our first guest is Professor A.J. Murugathis from the University of Toronto, and he's here to talk to us about what is air in the war.
You mean war in the air, doofus?
Shut up, man. War in the air. And we're back with Professor A.J. Murugathis of the University of Toronto. Hi, A.J.
Hey, Michael.
Thanks for coming in.
My pleasure.
So, what are you going to teach us today?
I'm going to be talking about what is war in the air.
Oh, you can tell the Germans were real airheads to mess with the Alliance.
Okay.
Once again, bad joke, Michael.
Anyways, war in the air is when opposing air forces battle against each other to assert dominance of other the enemy.
Wait, how did they assert their dominance?
Sometimes it is a simple one-on-one dogfight, where the winner is obviously stronger, or sometimes if it is as horrific as mass bombing of innocent civilians.
So, I know that the Canadians, British, and Americans were a huge triple threat in the Second World War. What made Canada so special in this alliance? Like, come on, home country.
Canadians flew all kinds of aircraft during the war. Canadians bombing units attacked Germany, air bases, gun positions, rail and road traffic, then military headquarters in France. They became experts bombing at night. On their night missions, they were flying blind in the darkness to bomb targets deep inside Germany. In 1943, Canadians crew flying Lancaster were dropping huge loads of high explosive on German factories.
So sorry, Professor Murugathis. That's all the time we have for you today, but thank you for coming in.
No problem.
And after this quick commercial break, we shall be talking to Professor Jonathan Nguyen from the University of Waterloo. And we're back with 102.1 Glenforest Radio. So, now we are going to be speaking to Professor Jonathan Nguyen of the University of Waterloo. Hi, Professor Nguyen.
Hey there, Michael.
So, what are you going to talk to us about?
Well, I'm here to talk about, as you said, when war in the air was prominent in World War II. Well, in the first few months of the World War, our allies, they didn't really fight much. So after the brief break they had, the first Canadian battle in the air was in the Battle of Britain, where it was in July 10th, 1940 to May 1941. But then we also had other experiences in the World War, such as in mid 1943, there was a bombing in Germany factories to decline their production. And then also in July 24th, 1943, 800 of our aircrafts bombed and destroyed the port of Hamburg, I believe. Yeah. And then also they did that 3 days later, and then a week later, which then forced Hitler into bringing his Luftwaffe back to defend.
Come on, Professor. I thought you were a professional. It's Luftwaffe.
I've been working in this field for 12 years. I can tell my talent's unappreciated.
Professor? Professor? Where's he going? Professor? We just lost a guest. What's the principal gonna say? Okay. Hi there, Professor Wu.
Hi, how was your day?
It was pretty good. I walked to school, came here. That was about it.
All right then.
Okay, then moving on. So, what are you going to teach us about today?
Today I'm going to be talking about where some of the battles in the air happen. So an event that took place was the Battle of Britain, and it was in the skies over Britain and the surrounding sea.
One question. Why was it Britain they attacked? Why didn't they attack anywhere else?
They attacked Britain because Germany and Italy took over all of Europe except for the Soviet Union because they had an agreement with them to not attack each other. So then the only place left for them to attack and conquer was Britain. So another battle that took place was in this air was when US dropped an atomic bomb on Hiroshima, Japan. This was a warning bomb to Japan to surrender because Japan was the only country in the war after Germany surrendered to Britain. Japan still didn't want to surrender because they had too much pride in themselves. So the US dropped another one on Nagasaki, Japan. They killed over 39,000 people. And this is when Japan thought the US had more bombs, so therefore they surrendered.
Wait, isn't it Nagasaki?
Yeah, whatever, man.
Okay, sorry, Professor Vu. That's all the time we have for you. So I'll see you next.
You're around.
Did he just leave?
I think.
Okay, well, we lost another guest.
What do we do now?
Commercial break.
Michael, that's the second guest you've chased away. Let me take over as host.
Fine.
Now you're listening to the most qualified specialist here, everybody's favorite history teacher, Mr. Anthony Kumar. Talking Michael, or you're gonna get detention. Now I'll be talking about who were most significant during World War II and War in the Air. During World War II, there were four main air forces: the German Luftwaffe, the British Royal Air Force, the Russian Soviet Air Force, and the American Army Air Forces. The German Nazis were most effective during the war, taking over almost all of Europe, but were shut down during the Battle of Britain. Britain had several advantages during this battle. One, Britain had a radar to direct their fighter defenses. They also used fighter aircraft to stop German bomber formations, causing them to be vulnerable to any attack. Lastly, since the battle occurred over British territory, pilots who crash-landed or parachuted out of their aircraft were able to return to battle. After reconsidering the success rate of the battle, Hitler postponed indefinitely the invasion of Britain and resorted to bombing larger cities such as Plymouth, London, and Coventry. Now to show off everything I've taught him, here's Michael to tell you why War in the Air was waged during World War II.
Thank you, sir. I'm sure the people all want to hear the real host by now. Anyway, I'm going to say why War in the Air was waged in the first place. One of the main reasons that War in the Air was waged was because of reconnaissance, which is pretty much spying on the enemy troops as they're making their advances, which I think is really unfair, don't you agree? Fine, I'll continue. Another main reason that War in the Air was waged was because people or armies simply wanted to take control of other countries' land. For example, in the Battle of Britain, Hitler and the Germans and his Luftwaffe Air Force wanted to take over Britain and gain control over it by just bombing it into submission, killing innocent civilians, and taking down the towns with people that did nothing. Sometimes, war in the air wasn't even war at all. Air forces could just be using their planes to transport food, supplies, ammunition, or even troops to other places in the world to help their armies.
Now give me back the mic, Michael. I think we've talked enough. Now give me back the mic.
No, let me end it. Thank you folks so much for listening to 102.1 Glenforest Radio 2016 Remembrance Day edition.
Dun, 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 dun.
Coming up next, Juice by Chance the Rapper.
I got the juice, I got the juice.
Glenforest Radio 102.1.
Dun, dun, dun.